Ricky, it's an absolute privilege to have you here. Australian Motoring Enthusiast Party Senator. How would you describe that?
How would I describe that? I think motoring enthusiasts finally have a voice.
So today you've experienced firsthand some hands-on defensive driver training with our Drive to Survive program. How do you feel about that? What you experienced today?
Yeah, look, it was a fantastic experience to be put in the vehicle in a controlled environment and go through a few emergency scenarios with modern technology.
Imagine if someone stepped out down near this Wednesday race for real sign. Yep. I reckon a natural reaction would be like, oh shit, and ease off at the very end. Yep. So going back in time, we'll rewind the button back to the first car you ever drove. What was the very first car you drove, whether it was a paddock basher or...
Yeah, the very first car I remember driving, the very first thing I ever drove was actually about a D7 size dozer.
Oh, so you started with a Big Mac.
The heavy duty. That was that long ago, I don't remember, but photos tell a different story. So the very first I can actually recall driving was my grandparents' Holden Camira.
So with the Camira, who then taught you to drive?
My grandmother. She was a big part behind that. She would let us, my uncle lived on a farm, she would let us hop in the car, drive around the farm, show us in and out of the gears and the handbrake and so on. I was that young, to be honest, I can't quite remember, but I certainly knew where the brake pedal was, and that was a very good start.
That's a great start, it really is. So did you get any professional lessons leading up to your licence, any from a learner driving?
Yeah, I did. For memories, there was a requirement that you had to have a few, so going from my learners to my probationary licence, I'd say off the back of my hand I probably had 7 to 8 lessons. There was a handbrake start on a hill. Yeah. Had to do a reverse park, 3-point turn, and a few manoeuvres like that.
How'd you go?
The very first time I may have failed.
Right. Do you know the reason why?
Yeah, I do. There was I was at a roundabout and I looked to the right. There was no vehicles. Looked to the left. Looked to the right again, and there was a reflection of what I thought was the back of a sign, but it might have been the windshield of a Range Rover coming around the roundabout.
So with that licence test, you've obviously kept your licence intact and all that. From my understanding in Victoria, you've got your licence and you've had it from that age. Do you think that the system is correct, because you don't really have to do any other formal testing or evaluation till basically you're on your own, I guess you'd say forever?
Yeah, well that's right. And from a party perspective, we've come in on the road safety platform and driver education because through modern technology, through airbags and stability control and ABS braking and everything, we're seeing a reduction in road fatality, but the accidents are still happening. So we thought through one way to tackle avoiding the accidents in the first place is to teach people how to avoid them.
How would you describe driving standards on Australian roads, and what would you say is the most dangerous things you've seen other drivers doing that really get on your goat?
Mobile phones, that's a particularly bad one in this day and age. Impatience, people are tailgating to try to get past where in reality they're going to save 20 seconds at the end of the trip. I mean, there are a couple of bad habits that really stand out.
Limits. What's your thought on speed limits?
I think where practical, they should be nationalised alongside just about every other road law. I think if they were nationalised, it makes a lot more sense. You don't cross an imaginary line being a border, where all of a sudden the rules are different. You're breaking the law without even intentionally knowing it. I think if the road laws in general were nationalised, we'll go up to a right.
So in Victoria, learner drivers, I think they can drive at the posted speed limit with a licensed driver.
No matter how many vehicle standards we improve, we still need to teach people how to just avoid the accident in the first place.
Well, Ricky Muir, it's been an absolute privilege. Thank you so much.
No problems at all. Thank you very much, Ian.
What a privilege to hang out with Senator Ricky Muir here at our Drive to Survive program. He popped along today just to see what the benefits might be for post-licensed driver education. This guy, while he might be a motoring enthusiast and representing the Motoring Enthusiast Party, he is actually acting on behalf of all motorists in the Federal Parliament.